Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? 你们听得到吗？你们看得到吗？
Yes.
Okay. 好。我是钟子怡 or you can call me Joy. I 不知道有没有听到 but my family's Taiwanese, so I can speak Mandarin, and I'm trying to learn Taiwanese now. Right now, I will be presenting on American food trends. If you guys need me to go slower, or if you guys need me to, what is it? Or if you need me to repeat something or explain something, feel free to stop me and ask.
We're going to be talking about today in this presentation. So we're going to be talking about 4 major sports, that being American football. So
is someone else presenting in this as well?
Guys, I think it's called football over there. Soccer, but we call it soccer over
Give
here.
me 1 moment.
So we're also talking about soccer and basketball and baseball. Those are the 4 main sports we'll talk about. We're going to also talk about what they look like.
It's Miss Lynn. Miss Lynn, can you?
That includes outside
mic?
of school. What do the normal
Miss Lynn?
look like, and then what does traveling?
Okay, give me 1 moment. Okay, is it blown up? I can't tell because full screen on my screen means I cannot see the other screen. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. American food trends. So I chose to do this topic because I like to eat. Taiwanese people who love to eat. And in America too, there's a lot of people who really love to eat as well. And because of the pandemic, these last few years, it's been a really weird time with what, the restaurants closing and all sorts of different closures and reopenings and logistics issues such as shipping. America's a huge place. It's very interesting from a food perspective and a cultural perspective, and that's also reflected in its cuisine. Okay, so one of the biggest food trends lately is vegan and vegetarian alternatives. 所以人家吃素的. It's very popular in America right now to be vegetarian or even vegan. Vegan is not even eating animal byproducts, like no milk, no cheese, no honey, while vegetarian is just not eating meat. Some of these things include Beyond Burger, plant-based patties, which are, alternatives to meat that are based on plant. Tofu is also really popular for this reason, and as well as different alternatives to milk, which you can see many examples of, rice milk, almond milk, soy milk, coconut milk. In Taiwan, we drink a lot of, soy milk, doujiang. That's pretty common for us. But in America, this move away from dairy milk, cow's milk, is a bit newer and it's very interesting. I drink all of them and I enjoy all of them as well. Does anyone have any questions or any comments? Okay. Sustainable and local. This is actually something that's been pretty big in other areas of the world already, but America is so big and it's so used to transporting and commuting its food around. It's very difficult to do this on a large scale compared to a place like Taiwan, where you can, your fish, your vegetables, you can literally go to farms close by and get a lot of seafood, a lot of plants and leafy greens and fruit. When I went back to Taiwan, I loved eating, like the bell fruit, the mangoes, the papayas. All of that is very local. But in America, half the country is under snow half the time. A lot of things are impossible to grow in other climates. I live in Southern California, so we're really lucky. We have rice growing in the north, almonds, cherries up there, and various other things as well, like avocados, which are very famously grown in the US, and we have a big dairy market, lots of cows. But in other parts of the country, like right now, much of the Northeast, New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Maine, they're all snowed. What can you grow in the snow, you know? You can't. So it's been very difficult to have a sort of local movement if there's nothing to eat locally, because you can't grow things in the snow much. So this is a movement that is kind of popular, but also kind of difficult to implement in some places versus others. Like, it's easy for me living in Southern California to be like, okay, I want to eat everything that comes from Southern California because there's quite a lot of fresh food here that I can choose from. But it's really difficult if you're living in an area that's snowing right now or just doesn't grow much. Farm to table is a concept that a lot of trendy restaurants use. That meant they would directly buy from farmers and bring it to the table and grow. So no middleman, no suppliers, no grocery stores, nothing. Just directly from the farmer to the table. Obviously, this is, a huge expense and effort for the restaurant people themselves, because not only, imagine if you had every meal you cooked, you'd be like, I have to talk to the farmer. I want chicken eggs, I have to go talk to the chicken farmer. I want plants, I have to go talk to the farmer that grows these plants. So it is not something easy, and a lot of the restaurants are expensive, but it's a very popular trend. And I know in Taiwan there are a few restaurants that do this as well, and are starting to encourage it because it's more sustainable.
Sorry to
Farmers market.
interrupt, Joy. Sorry. Yeah, I think you need to speak slower. I'm sorry because
Sorry, I do speak
a little
fast.
bit difficult for them. Yeah.
I do speak a little fast. Don't worry, just tell me to speak slower.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing is farmers markets. I know in Taiwan, these are really common, where you go and pick out your food. But in the US, for the same reasons, because we're so big, because food has to come from all over, like where you, potatoes or apples. A lot of our apples in California, they come from New York. We're shipping them across the country so people can, eat fresh apples all year round. But how are you going to, have that local and sustainable? So these farmers markets are ways for people to see what their local farmers will drive in and will grow and drive in and sell. And it's starting to catch on in the United States. Obviously, this has been done in Taiwan a lot. I'm sure all of you guys have been to a farmer's market in Taiwan, because I've been to a farmer's market in Taiwan. But in the US, I would say it's fairly common, but most people don't go regularly, It's not an always thing. We go to the supermarket for food and groceries usually. Okay, food delivery. This is also very popular in Taiwan. I know you guys have several food apps as well, and delivery, 外卖, that sort of thing. We have 4 major food delivery apps: Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. All of them do about the same thing. You order from a restaurant, and they will send someone to pick it up for you and deliver it to your door for a charge. So because of COVID, obviously, and the pandemic, a lot of people are staying inside and not eating and, not going out to restaurants as much. But people still don't want to cook. Americans as a whole are not very into cooking as much as other countries, I found. And we are all very lazy people in some ways. And restaurant cooking, let's be real, is very, very good compared to what most of us can make at home. So it's very convenient to use your phone to order. And actually, before COVID, a lot of these apps were not doing so well. But after COVID, obviously, many of them are earning a lot of money right now. Outdoor dining. I live in Southern California, so we had outdoor dining before. I know in Taiwan, people, you eat outdoors all the time as well, but not so much in all of the United States. A lot of places, the outdoor is not so nice, or its space is very limited. But because of COVID, we've been forced to redo a lot of things we used to do before. If you can look at I believe that would be your right, my right as well. the picture, the tarps. This is from San Gabriel Valley. I don't know if any of you guys have been to LA, San Gabriel Valley, but you can see how there's like tarps and stuff, and these are like in the parking lots. So this is like a new measure. And then the one on the right is in Santa Monica, and they're eating right in the street. This is not something common in the US. You would usually not be allowed to do this. But because of the way the lockdowns and the new requirements for eating out, they tried to shift as much people out to eat outside for safety reasons. And I know in Taiwan too, I think they just stopped indoor dining again because of the recent outbreak. Am I correct? 最近的还是你们还可以在里面吃饭 Hello?
Some of it.
Yes, sometimes? Yeah, that sounds about right. Right now, we can eat inside, but I think next week they're going to close it again because our case numbers are very high. So, yeah. We'll see. It's very day-to-day. Custom or made to order. So on your left, you have pizza. On your right, you have poke. Poke is raw fish with rice. It's a Hawaiian. I believe it was originated in Hawaii or Japan. I'm not sure, depending on what variant. And you can see the different varieties of that. These are all like, I know you guys have like Subway or different, huoguo, hot pot is very much made to order because you choose, 你会自己选, you'll choose your own ingredients. And these are some popular things. As Americans get more adventurous in eating and, you know, choose to eat out differently, there's this idea that you should be able to choose. You know, Americans are very big on freedom and individual choice. So places, Subway, very famous for their footlong sandwiches. That was an early example of this. Pizza. A lot of new pizza places now allow you to, they will make it in front of you and you can choose your toppings and such. I really like that because I don't like the usual style of pizzas. Poke. So they'll have different styles of raw fish from salmon, tuna, albacore, and different sorts of vegetables you can add in, as well as white rice, brown rice, sushi rice, and all of these things as well. And I know in Taiwan, there are various examples of this as well. Although I don't know if you guys have ready-made, custom-made pizza yet. Do you guys? I remember when I last went like 3-4 years ago, I couldn't really find much pizza. But that might have just been me. Okay, next slide. Convenience. Americans are very lazy as a whole, and I can say this because I am American, and if any of you guys have been to the US, I know a lot of people, my Taiwanese family always comments, wow, you guys drive everywhere. That is true. And you guys do not walk much. That is also true. We like things very easy for us, and part of that is also shows in our cooking. One pot or one pan meals. This is also very popular in Taiwan because I've watched several vloggers mention this. Meals that only require one pot. 所以一个锅子你就可以煮完就吃完，就不用再拿还是洗别的碗别的锅子 Very, very convenient. And Americans love this too. So that's why they're all displayed so prettily. Meal kits. I'm actually not sure if Taiwan has these yet, although I've seen these in Korea and Japan. So what they do for meal kits, as you can see on the right, is they prep an entire meal for you, all the ingredients, and you cook it yourself. This is really great for people who don't know how to buy their own vegetables and stuff. Like 你不知道怎么选菜，还是你知道大概怎么煮东西，可是你不太知道要煮什么，还是要买多少的分量。This is also really great for, you know, individuals who don't have much time to go grocery shopping or just don't like going grocery shopping, and it's very convenient. Obviously, you do pay a bit more, but a lot of people, including some of my friends, think it's worth it. 在台湾有这种吗？还是没看过？ Anyone?
Yes,
No.
we have the meal kits. Yes, we have in the supermarket. You can find it.
So we can see who cooks and who doesn't cook in this.
Yeah, I cook, so I know it.
Very cool. Is this a recent thing or has it always been? Because when I last went like 3-4 years ago, I don't think I could find any. Or is this like a new trend for you guys?
It's not popular right now.
It's very popular right now?
It's not because
Oh, it's not popular? Why do you think so?
because I never used it before.
That's true. Because in Taiwan, it's easy to get food, right? You want to eat, 你可以去夜市还是餐厅去吃, or you just buy, 泡面自己煮. It's very convenient to eat in Taiwan versus in the US. So another thing that's also super convenient and easy are appliances, All you have to do is, these two are both really famous because all you have to do is put things in them and you can leave them. Americans love this. I mean, I'm sure other countries do too, but I cannot, and myself, I have both of these, so I'm also guilty of this. But the air fryer, 烤箱, 炸烤箱, I'm actually not quite sure what the Chinese word for this is, but I know in Taiwan you guys have this as well, and you can use it to fry things. You pop things in there and it fries it for you, bakes it as well. Very convenient, very fast, and if you love fried food like I do, it's the best. The Instant Pot is a pressure cooker. 所以他们用压力去煮东西 and 我最喜欢做的皮蛋瘦肉粥 so century egg pork congee in this. You can make, soups, meats, chilies, stews, all sorts of stuff. 在台湾有这些的东西吗？还是你们喜欢用的那种机器? I don't think this is called 机器, but these sorts of appliances, are there any that you guys really like that are convenient? Or not so much?
Yeah, it's pretty useful.
Very much so. Any that you personally like to use? Or have at home?
Yeah, I have both of this at home.
Oh, very nice to hear. Okay. Next one. I'm going into more micro trends, so just food trends. Bread. As you can see, the 3 most popular food trends on social media, this is American, not international, 3 of them were bread. Out of the 3, 2 of them were bread. Banana bread and focaccia. Banana bread is 香蕉, 面包, and then focaccia is an Italian-style baked bread. And then I have on the right a cheesy garlic bread. Americans love bread. Like white bread, whole wheat bread, French baguettes, sourdough are all very trendy even before the pandemic. And during the pandemic, bread making became very popular. I had several friends who bought bread makers. So the machines that help you make bread were started to make breads. And in fact, this was in several newspapers that certain bread stuffs like flour or sourdough starters, the yeast, and whatnot. And I think it's because it's very comforting, Like in Taiwan, we eat 面, 卤肉面, 卤肉饭, 牛肉面, those types of things. But in America, a lot of people like eating bread. Pizza, has the bread crust and all of that as well. And it's become very, very trendy to make bread, as well as a number of bakeries that now make. We do have a lot of bakeries in the US, but I've noticed that during the pandemic, quite a number of bakeries popped up because people decided to pursue their dreams instead of doing whatever work they were doing before and make bread for a living, which I thought was very interesting. Okay. So you guys have any comfort foods you guys like to eat? So any foods that make you guys feel better after a bad day? Or is this not really a Taiwanese concept as much? 我讲简单一点，你们今天很不舒服，觉得要吃好东西，吃什么呢？你们会吃什么呢？想要吃什么呢？ What would you guys like to eat after a bad day? Anyone? You guys can reply back in Chinese or English. I'll help you guys translate. Hello?
Cakes, perhaps.
Cakes? It's true. Bakery cakes are really good and very sweet. Fancy donuts. I know these are also popular in Taiwan as well, the mochi nuts from Japan. So they're basically mochi. 他们用 mochi 的粉 mochi flour to make these sorts of donuts. And if you notice, they're in little ring shapes as well. And then the cronut is a mix between a croissant and a donut. And very popular in the US. Okay, diverse food options. So Americans kind of have a reputation for eating very American foods, you know, pizza, 汉堡, spaghetti 那种的，他们不太喜欢吃不一样的食物。But lately there has been a push both by immigrants, you know, my family's immigrants being from Taiwan, as well as Americans who've been in America for a long time themselves, to eat more diverse foods. So different foods from different cultures, such as sushi, curry, and various other types of food as well. If you notice the top 3 most popular dishes, pizza, sushi, and curry, 2 of them are not foods most people would think Americans eat a lot of. And also, this is reflected in groceries. We, on the right, is a grocery delivery service. So 这个是你可以在网络上买，他们会送到你的家。There previously was not Asian grocery services before. So if you wanted to buy Asian foods, you had to go to the Asian supermarket like H-Mart, 还是大华，还是168, which are some of the Asian supermarkets we have here. Mostly Chinese because I shop at Chinese ones, but we also have Japanese and Korean ones as well in Southern California. Now there's a push to sell Asian groceries, Indian groceries, Hispanic groceries, and all sorts of these things because they're very popular right now in the United States. And I really like this because it's much more convenient for me, as well as sharing, you know, all sorts of good food with other people. Boba tea is also getting was very popular in certain areas, you know, in Southern California, but now it's popular all throughout the nation. Okay. Do you guys have any questions or any sort of any questions or any sort of remarks or anything you guys would like to ask me? 可以用中文讲，我听得懂。We still have about
丽婷有没有问题要问？丽婷有要问吗？
8分钟。
逸璇，
英文不好，
逸璇有没有什么问题问？
Yeah, try to participate. I'm not scary.
玉琴有要问吗？玉琴。
What are the equipments like that you would like to use besides an oven?
Oh, oven. I actually don't use oven that much. I use the air fryer, but like most Asians in the United States, we don't really use our oven. I mostly cook on a pan. I'm pretty lazy, so I just use a pan and I fry. Like, actually made dumplings right before this to eat. I pan fried some dumplings. So, 煎饺. And I like chopping foods. We use a meat cleaver. I have a toaster oven I use, the air fryer, the Instant Pot. Oh, the rice cooker. We have a rice cooker and we obviously use that a lot. Anyone else has any questions or any remarks or 你们要问什么都可以，不一定要关我讲的，可以随便问。I still have like 5 minutes, guys. So yes.
佳悦在吗？问个问题，佳悦。
Hello.
佳悦，问个问题，有没有想问 Joy 的？还是你有没有想分享什么食物？既然我们在讲食物的话 ，any food you like or any cuisine you used to cook, maybe you can share with Joy. 可以，佳悦。
你们害羞，你们可以打出来，我也看得懂中文，可以打出来 in the chat if you guys really can't speak, because I understand 你们可能有一点害羞 or something.
Do you like to eat hot pot?
我特别爱吃火锅，
Yeah.
我就觉得麻烦去煮。I find it really inconvenient to cook. 所以我以前大部分都是出去吃，在餐厅吃。我知道台湾现在也很流行，我们这里有 quite a few different types 不同的分类，台湾式、日本式、韩国式、四川，南方的、北方的都有，所以我算比较幸福在这样子。I'm just lazy to cook at home. I don't know if you guys can relate, but and 现在大部分的餐厅都关了，所以我不是关了，他们不让你在里面吃。And hot pot's very inconvenient to eat outside, you know? 你全部的东西要带去外面有一点麻烦，所以大部分的 hot pot restaurants there right now just closed. But I like it very much. And hopefully for Chinese New Year, 农历我也可以吃，就是要求我妈妈去做，因为我不要自己去做。Any other questions, guys? Type it out or ask. Don't be afraid about your English or anything. My Chinese used to be very terrible too, and now look, you just have to keep talking. Or if you guys want my contact information, you guys can ask me and I can email, we can voice chat. I'm pretty open. Any questions about anything in America or Los Angeles? I live in Southern California. I'm currently studying cybersecurity. 电脑安全. I like to watch basketball. 洛杉矶湖人. Anything on your guys' end that you guys would like to tell me about in Taiwan right now? 你们对现在的疫情有什么感觉呢? Are you guys sad? Okay. 你们学校大部分是网络的吗？还是在 in person right now?
I have a question about the Southern California. I would want to know
Yes.
the weather there and the life there. How's it about living in Southern California?
Well, I live here, so it's just my life. But do you mean like?
Is it a good place to travel, or is it a fun place to?
Love. Okay. You need a car in Southern California. So if you have a friend in Southern California, that's best because you have to drive everywhere, even from the airport. The traffic is a lot. People joke about, LAX. 可是 LAX 的塞车真的是有一点太夸张了。
OK，
因为他们塞车真的很慢，很差。可是在这里有很多不同的地方，有 Disneyland。Which I think actually was still open until recently. 有 Knott's Berry Farm， 有海边，有山，有雪，lots of hiking, lots of 博物馆 lots of museums. In fact, we just had the Studio Ghibli, Mizuyaki, you know, 那个小 Totoro. 哦，这个Totoro 的那种的。We just had that museum open, the Academy Museum of Arts. 所以是像电影的博物馆。刚开在洛杉矶，去年我还没去，可是我2个妹妹都去了。And it's just a really lovely place. A lot of people love going. 你喜欢好莱坞，你可以去。我知道有很多地方人家去看明星，因为cause I grew up， 我从小就是我在这里生的，我在这里住的，我没对明星那么大的感觉。可是我有很多朋友，他们来到这里，从别的地方，他们要去看明星，我都可以带你去。这里真的是跟别的地方不一样，这里跟纽约是我觉得你喜欢看明星是最多的这种的。可是我们还有别的，像博物馆、公园，海边 hiking， 所以我自己很喜欢住在这里。And then 天气，我知道你们现在很冷，下雨很多吧？你们在台北 ，right?
Yeah.
It's very rainy. It's very cold. It's very wet. California is very dry. Well, Southern California. It's very warm right now. 今天70几度 I don't know how much of that is in Celsius. 可是我们这里70几很温，我穿的都是你可以冬天都穿短袖的。It's very comfortable， 很舒服。我特别爱住在这里。我自己觉得我可能回去台湾住，可是我最想留在这里 probably for the rest of my life 因为我有去住别的地方，像纽约 Pittsburgh Philadelphia， 我有住过一点，还是洛杉矶最好。Hi Vanessa,
Thanks
so you're
for
taking over for
sharing.
this group now? Okay, I will go to my
Thanks
group
for
now.
sharing.
Thank you guys so much for being an attentive audience. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time.
See you.
See you.
Bye bye.